In Britain, Rita and James couldn't believe it. The British Law Commission now want to make misogyny a hate crime. I'm sure Julia Gillard and others would be swinging from the rafters, but misogyny, a hate crime. What could possibly go wrong with that, do you think, Rita?
Well, just nobody look at your watch, because you could just be chucked in jail immediately for that. But
have you noticed my tie, Rita? My tie today. I'm done. I'm sunk.
Ooh, yeah,
you were very sensible, James. The pink tie. James is hedging his bets there.
But I tell you, if they make misandry a crime, then half the advertising industry would be locked up, because there's so many ads that are pretty much based on the notion that blokes are dumb.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, it goes two ways. When you start trying to police language and attach hateful notions to everything, it can be a dangerous path to go down.
It's insane. Also, the National Trust, which is Britain's once respected authority that looks after all the classic old English homes, they've come out. They've completely gone fully woke. They've listed 100 houses that have links to slavery. Oh, here we go. Churchill's former family home, Rudyard Kipling's home, and on it goes. Aren't these people a joke?
How do you cancel a house?
Is this an invitation, though, for these houses to be destroyed? I mean, we've seen what they've done to statues and monuments. Why would you list these historic premises other than if you're advising the BLM Antifa mob to go down there and try to burn it down?
It's completely insane. But we know they're insane, James. They've made beer racist now. I mean, we can't even... Who even knows why?
I love this. There's a new book out, and it is all about how beer became white, why it matters, and the movements to change. I mean, this is what happens when, you know, I've been saying this for years and years. Once the personal becomes political, you literally cannot go out and have a beer without somebody saying, I reckon that pale ale might be problematic, that lager could have racist overtones. I don't know. Are you drinking a dark beer? Are you drinking an imperial stout? That reeks of colonialism.
It's completely insane. Now, on a more serious topic, Rita and James, let's discuss the issue of transgenderism. Cricket Australia, 5-year-olds. Rita?
This story that the Daily Telly had, I thought he was something from Babylon B. I thought, this can't be right. The parents of 5-year-olds being asked if their child identifies as non-gender, or what is going on, James? Because your paper covered this, and why are 5-year-olds facing these ridiculous questions?
Well, Rita, very simple. So, a great story by Clarissa Bai here at the Daily Telegraph. She uncovered that as young as 5, kids have to be asked what gender they identify as, and it all comes down to this benchmarking system through something called Pride in Sport that that Cricket Australia has signed up for. Now, I went and looked on Friday at what this requires. There's a 16-page questionnaire that cricket clubs, local cricket clubs, have to fill out, and it includes things like, do you have somebody who's, you know, an ambassador for these issues? Have you marked significant LGBT days on your calendar? What is your, you know, non-bullying policy, which is fine, but then they also ask them, you know, what have you done to spread the word about this? And they ask, have you done something like, you know, written a letter to an international sporting body to support and affirm the idea that transgenderism in sport is perfectly okay? It is absolute woke madness. We saw what happened with Rugby Australia, you know, when Qantas pulled their sponsorship after they went all woke. Well, you know, Cricket Australia is going down the same woke path, and, you know, they should just stick to wickets.
Well, speaking of wokedom at its absolute worst was the Archibalds this week, the finalists and then the winner. Now, because we actually have a taste on this show, we're not going to show the rubbish that was served up as the finalists. We're actually going to show you some proper portraits, so you can see those as we're chatting about it. The Archibalds, here we go. Ooh. This is a proper portrait. Girl with a pearl earring, Johannes Vermeer. We've got, you can enjoy these classic portraits. If you went along to the Archibalds, you would not have seen anything that ever came even remotely close to the little signatures down in the bottom corner, or even the mistakes on the back of the canvases of these masterpieces. Rita, why does the Archibalds seem hell-bent on serving up stuff that even you and I and anybody else knows basically fits the description of rubbish.
Well, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago about so many of the wokelings who were featured, all the heroes of the ideological left who are now having their portraits painted and shortlisted. But I almost feel like they're now selecting a winner to troll. They've become professional troll merchants where they pick something that they know is going to spark a reaction, even if it's a negative one, and then they feed off that negative reaction. I mean, is that really a way to run a arts
They're clearly relying on the
James?
controversy, James, and as you pointed out in the Sydney Morning Herald, they actually ran an article saying that, skills don't matter and it doesn't matter if you're no good. It's all about political correctness. Exactly.
Yep.